Ilya Dragunov was the NXT champion for over 200 days. Ilya Dragunov is a great wrestler with a hard-hitting style that I am dubbing the NXT Strong Style. Recently, Trick Williams beat Dragunov for the NXT title on a special episode of NXT. In my opinion, I think there were 5 guys that would have been a better choice to dethrone him for the NXT Championship. Before we get to that list, hit the like button with a flying elbow drop and put a sharpshooter on the subscribe button to keep up with everything from 2 Views Wrestling. Now let's take a look at my list. Number 5, Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey is the 27-year-old son of William Regal and is the current NXT Heritage Cup holder. I think Dempsey beating Dragunov would have been a huge surprise and would have been a great boost for the youngster. Having a young champion could really put over that NXT is the developmental brand of WWE. I also think these two would have an incredible match. Dempsey has great technical skills and could show his fighting spirit battling the Mad Dragon. Dragunov could be surprised by Dempsey winning, but in the end shake his hand. Add William Regal with Dempsey as his manager, and I think NXT would become must-see TV. Number 4, Joe Coffey. Recently, Joe Coffey and the other members of Gallus helped The Rock get ready for his in-ring return, and based off how great the match of Mania Night 1 was, and how good The Rock looked, I think Coffey deserves a reward. We at 2 Views Wrestling recently discussed how Coffey just needs a little boost and he could be a big star. Beating Dragunov would have been that boost, and it would have been good for NXT with a heel stable like Gallus dominating the brand. WWE has done a lot with heel stables the last few years. Coffey challenged both Pete Dunne and Gunther for the NXT UK title, and while he came out as the loser, they were still good matches. I think him and Dragunov would have had great chemistry and could have had a hard-hitting match. Gallus interference could keep Dragunov looking strong for his main roster debut, as it takes 3 guys to finally defeat him. I, for one, think the NXT title would look great draped on the shoulder of Joe Coffey. Number 3, Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura is my favorite Japanese wrestler ever, and while he is a legend in Japan, he hasn't reached those heights in WWE yet. He hasn't had a bad run, but he hasn't been able to break into the main event scene. He should have won the WWE title at WrestleMania 34, and he should have won the world title at Fastlane last year. I hope before Nakamura hangs it up, he gets a world title in WWE, and going back to NXT could be a great reset for him. It worked wonders for Finn Balor. Also, this match is a dream match for me. The King of Strong Style versus the Mad Dragon could be a great showcase for that NXT Strong Style I keep talking about. It also would be a good mixture of the NXT Black and Gold era with the NXT 2.0 era. The physicality would be off the charts in this one, and Dragunov wouldn't lose any momentum putting over Nakamura, as Nakamura is a living legend. We got a sample of this on Raw after Mania, and I hope we get more from these two in the near future. Number 2, Jacob Fatu. Ilya Dragunov is a destroyer, and I think it's only fitting that his reign would have ended at the hands of another destroyer. Fatu could be a great asset in the bloodline and would breathe new life into that storyline. But I want him to stand on his own for a little bit before getting involved with that. Plus, it would look cool to have the NXT champion standing with the bloodline. What would be great with this match is it is going to take a lot to put Dragunov away, and Fatu has a lot of awesome moves he could pull out. This would be a great way to introduce Fatu to the WWE fanbase. Losing to a member of the Bloodline doesn't hurt Dragunov at all. This match could be one of the biggest title matches in NXT history and would be an incredible unstoppable force meets a movable object. Something would have to give, and I hope it would not be my heart. Number 1, Obafemi. Throughout history, there have been a lot of fights that cause mass destruction. The Terminator versus the T-1000. Godzilla versus King Kong. Bret Hart versus El Dandy. Obafemi versus Ilya Dragunov has the potential to tear down Full Sail University. I would love for Shawn Michaels to decide that this match is too dangerous to have around innocent people and to pick an abandoned warehouse and give us an empty arena match. The empty arena match was made famous by Jerry Lawler and Terry Funk. Then Mankind and The Rock had a classic one during the Super Bowl. And AEW has empty arena matches every week. Also, to hype the danger involved with these two, you could have HBK appoint a special ref. Like Ken Shamrock, Kurt Angle, or JBL would be good choices. Finally, you could give us some awesome training montages that rip off classic 80 movies like Rocky, Bloodsport, and No Holds Barred. Show Dragunov running up snow-covered mountains and training like a Viking. Show Obafemi breaking cinder blocks and blocks of ice. Maybe have him wrestle a tiger. Then lock these guys in a warehouse and let them go to war. I think this is a great idea for NXT to stand out and do something a little different. Obafemi is going to be a big star for WWE, and I think this is a great way to launch the new monster. Finally, Dragunov can go out on his shield and leave NXT as a warrior and go to the main roster. Maybe to reignite his feud with Gunther. Well, that's my list for who I would have liked to see beat Ilya Dragunov. Let us know in the comments if you think Trick Williams was the right choice.